In this video, we're going to look at multiplying and dividing by powers of 10. So just a refresher, powers of 10, your base is 10 and your exponent could be any number. So let's take 10 to the second power. So we know that it's our base as many times as our exponent. So our base is 10, I'm going to write it 2 times, and it's always join my multiplication. Likewise, 10 to the 6th power would be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So it is not 10 times 6 or 10 times 2. It is the base as many times as the exponent, which is our small number, joined by multiplication. You might also see it like this. Let's say I had 10,000. I could write 10,000 as 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I have 4 zeros, that gives me my exponent, and my base is 10. So you might see it either way, but it is the same thing. So let's say, let's look at multiplication and division. The two operations have different rules. So if I'm going to divide, let's say I have 376 divided by 10 to the second power. Now I'm always going to look at the number that is not my power of 10. So I have 376. I'm going to come down here and write it again. The first thing I'm always going to do is find my decimal. Now in every single whole number, despite whether or not it's actually written, we know that the decimal goes after the ones place. So as soon as I find that decimal, my operation tells me which direction to move, and my exponent tells me how many times. So I'm going to find my decimal. When I divide, I move to the left because my number is going to get smaller. How many times do I move? 2 times. So I'm going to take it, I'm dividing, so I'm moving to the left once, twice, and my answer is 3 76 hundredths. So it's that easy. Let's switch it up. Let's say it was multiplication. Again, I would find my decimal, and it is 10 to the second power. When I multiply, my number gets bigger. So I'm moving to the right. So I always start with my decimal and I move once, twice to the right. These placeholders, we always need a number inside of them, and that number is always going to be 0. Okay, so those zeros need a seat. So my answer for this would be 37,600. Now that was an example of multiplying and dividing powers of 10 with whole numbers. Let's say I'm already given the decimal. The rules are still the exact same. So I'm going to identify the direction in which I move based on the operation. So in this case, I'm going to move to the left. I'm going to rewrite my number down here. I'm going to start with my decimal, and I'm going to move 4 times to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got to make sure that my loops are defined so that I can put a number inside of them, so that my answer would be 0.00423. Good way to check myself is when I'm dividing, I know my number should be smaller. I should know that this number is significantly smaller than 42 3/10. So the same way would work with multiplication. Multiplication, you move to the right. I have 42 3/10, and I move it 1, 2, 3, 4. And my new answer is 423 thousandths, or 1,000. And again, my number is bigger. I know I've done it correctly because I am multiplying. You might also see it, instead of the exponent here, you might see it to where it gives you it in expanded form, or standard form, and instead of having the exponential form, you have, let's say, 1,000. Rules are still the same. Multiplication tells me to move to the right. I have 1, 2, 3 digits. If it helps, you can go ahead and put that into exponential form if that's more familiar. I'm going to start with my number. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 times to the right, and my answer is going to be the same. Likewise with division, I would move it to the left. I would start with 42 3/10, and I would move it 1, 2, 3 times to the left. And I'm not going to leave it like that, so it's clear. I'm going to rewrite it so that my new answer looks like that.